Imagine being 23 years old. You wake up in the morning, grab your phone, it's a normal day, open your bank account, and see over $100,000 sitting there. Not inheritance, not luck, not some scam, and not because you were famous, only because a few years earlier, you did something most people in their 20s can't do. You focused while everyone else was distracted. You were building while people were chasing temporary pleasure. You were building skills while everyone wanted fast results. You were willing to survive the hard beginning. And that's the difference. Most people want a powerful life, but they quit after 2 weeks of discipline. They want money, but waste all their energy on things that give them nothing back. They want success, but their entire lifestyle is built around escape. Social media, comparison, endless content, late nights, distractions, excuses. Then they ask, why is my life going nowhere? The beginning in your 20s. You are either building your future or slowly destroying it. There is almost no middle ground because every habit you repeat daily becomes your identity later. Every hour you waste becomes part of the future you'll eventually live in. And that's what most people fail to understand. Your 20s are not just young years. They are the foundation years. This is where your mindset gets built. Your discipline gets built. Your standards get built. Your future gets built or destroyed. And the scary part is, destruction doesn't look dangerous at first. It looks comfortable. Sleeping late feels harmless. Scrolling feels harmless. Wasting entire weekends feels harmless. But years of small distractions create massive regret. That's how people wake up at 27 feeling mentally exhausted without ever truly building anything. A modern trap. The modern world is dangerous for ambitious people because distraction has become a business. Every app fights for your attention. Every platform wants to keep you consuming. Every notification is trying to interrupt your focus. And if you don't consciously protect your mind, you will slowly become average without even realizing it. That's the trap. Nobody plans to waste their life. It happens slowly. One lazy day becomes a lazy week. A lazy week becomes a lazy year. Then suddenly someone realizes they spent most of their early 20s watching other people succeed online instead of building their own life. And the worst part? The internet makes wasting time feel normal. You can spend 8 hours consuming content and still feel like you did something. But deep down, when you're moving forward and when you're hiding from your potential, the difference between people at 20 years old, the difference between successful people and unsuccessful people is usually very small. They often start in similar positions. Same age, same internet, same opportunities, same 24 hours. But their daily decisions are different. One person spends years consuming. The other spends years building. One escapes reality. The other faces it directly. One wants entertainment every second. The other learns how to tolerate boredom and hard work. And over time, that gap becomes massive. Because success is rarely one giant moment. It's small actions repeated for years. That's why someone who looked normal at 20 can become financially free at 25. Not because they suddenly became special, but because they stayed focused long enough for results to compound. Focus is the new superpower. In today's world, focus is rare. Most people cannot sit alone for 30 minutes without checking their phone. Their brain is overstimulated all the time. Fast videos, fast dopamine, fast entertainment, constant noise. And when your brain gets addicted to stimulation, real work starts feeling painful. That's why so many people quit. Not because they're incapable, but because they destroyed their attention span. Meanwhile, the person who learns deep focus gains an unfair advantage over almost everyone. Because while others are distracted for years, he's stacking skills, knowledge, money, and discipline every single day. Quietly. The lonely phase. Every successful person goes through a phase where nobody understands them. A phase where they disappear. Not because they hate people, but because they're building something bigger than temporary approval. This phase is difficult because while everyone else is partying, you're working while others are relaxing. You're learning while others are wasting nights scrolling endlessly. You're trying to create a better future for yourself. And sometimes it feels unfair. Sometimes you question yourself. Sometimes you wonder if all the sacrifice is even worth it. But this is the moment that separates people. Most people want success without changing their habits, without sacrificing comfort, without enduring boredom. But real growth requires discomfort. Always. About money. Money changes your life. Anyone who says otherwise is lying to themselves. Money gives freedom, choices, peace, time. It allows you to help your family. It allows you to breathe without constant stress, but money also exposes who you are. If you're lazy with no discipline, more money usually creates bigger problems. That's why building your mindset matters first, before the money comes, because wealth without discipline destroys people. You need emotional control, patience, focus, the ability to think long term. And most importantly, you need the ability to keep going when results are invisible. Because for a long time, nobody will clap for you. Nobody will notice your effort. Nobody will care. And you still have to continue anyway. The power of delayed gratification. Most people ruin their future for temporary comfort. That's the truth. They sacrifice long-term freedom for short-term pleasure, a few hours of entertainment, a few moments of distraction, a little comfort every day, and slowly, their standards collapse. Meanwhile, the people who become powerful later in life usually mastered one skill early: delayed gratification. The ability to say, I'm willing to suffer now so I can live differently later. That mindset changes everything. Because life rewards people who can think beyond today. Your environment matters. If everyone around you wastes time, staying focused becomes harder. Environment affects ambition more than people realize. If your circle normalizes laziness, you eventually become lazy too. If your circle laughs at discipline, you slowly stop taking yourself seriously. That's why protecting your environment matters. Sometimes growth requires distance. Distance from negativity. Distance from distractions. Distance from people who only exist to waste time. Not because you think you're better than them, but because your future matters more than fitting in. The hardest part about building your life in your 20s is that results take time, and modern people hate waiting. Everyone wants fast success, fast money, fast transformation, fast results. But reality doesn't work like social media clips. Real success is usually repetitive and boring. Wake up, work, learn, improv, repeat, again and again, for years. That's what people don't show online. They show the rewards, not the repetition. They show the lifestyle, not the sacrifices. But behind every strong person, there are thousands of quiet hours nobody saw. Imagine this future. Imagine being in your mid-20s, while everyone around you is stressed about survival, and you already built stability. Not because you were lucky, but because you used your early years correctly. Imagine having skills that make money, confidence built from discipline, a strong body, mental clarity, freedom, options. That kind of life is possible, but not for distracted people. Not for people who spend years escaping reality. It belongs to people who build when nobody is watching. Final message. Right now, someone your age is wasting another night scrolling endlessly, and someone else your age is building a future that will completely change their life. Both are young, both are tired, both have fears. But one chooses comfort, the other chooses growth. And years from now, their lives will look nothing alike. So if you're in your 20s, understand this clearly. Your future is being built by your daily habits right now, not your motivation, not your dreams, not your intentions, your habits. Because one day, you will either thank yourself for staying focused or hate yourself for wasting years on distractions.